We're going to try to get through the rest of these, I guess, kind of quickly here. This is the last Bloody Best of Fangoria that I have. And you can see, I think this was probably about the time that Wolf come out with Jack Nicholson. And that you can tell this is a newer one because it has stuff on the X-Files as well. So, that's all the Bloody Best of Fangorias. Now, another one that they put out, I'm not sure how many issues of Fangoria's Horror Spectacular. I don't know how many spin-offs of Fangoria they had. But anyway, this is the one issue I do have from October of 1992. I know they had at least 7 issues. But I have just this one. It was about the time that Pet Sematary 2 come out. Batman Returns. Alien 3. Army of Darkness. Amityville 1992. There was new season previews on Tales from the Crypt. Tales from the Crypt was still on. There was... This wasn't a very extensive magazine either. There's some more. This was the Altarian Ghost Factory. As seen on MTV. Who knows if this place is even around now. But that's a Horror Spectacular. Now these last two, before we move on to the Fangorias themselves, are a couple of movie magazines that come out for a couple of movies that I was interested in at the time. This first one is Jason Goes to Hell. And I will admit that this is not a good movie in the Friday the 13th franchise. But, you know, I like to collect these horror magazines. And I saw this and I thought this would be pretty cool. Because it did have Jason Voorhees on the front of it. And there was stuff about the other Friday the 13th in this little movie magazine, so I thought I would pick it up. I mean, there is stuff on the new one, or the new one at the time, as you can see here. A lot of color in this, but there was like a Friday the 13th trivia. You know, I always like to do those trivia things to see how smart I was as far as the horror movies are concerned. There's Kane Hodder. It was his 3rd time behind the mask when he made this movie, so. And there was also a Surviving Stars of Friday the 13th. I really enjoyed reading that article too. You know, they talk about what they were doing at the time after they had done the Friday the 13th movies. There's also a Friday the 13th coroner's report that tells exactly how each character died in the movies. They give a breakdown of all the different movies. So any of you that are interested in that might want to try to get a copy of this if you can. The second one I've got is the one on Species, about the time the Species movie came out. There was, basically in this one, there was information about the Species movies. As you can see, these are pretty much all color. So that's the Species one. Now, I'm sorry for the cough, guys. Now we're going to get into not all my Fangorias, because as you all know, and you're all aware, Fangoria sucks now. I mean, they absolutely suck. I don't even remember when the last time I bought a new Fangoria issue was. But back in its heyday, Fangoria was an awesome magazine. I think the first issue was in '79. And I actually have the first issue. Believe it or not. It's not in the most pristine condition, but I did get it from someone off of eBay. You can see the number, big old #1 there. And look how much it was, guys. $1.95. Can you imagine getting a horror magazine, or any magazine for that matter, for $1.95? But back when Fangoria started, there were horror things in it, but I don't think they concentrated on that as much. Like, there's an article on 25 years with Godzilla, but for all you Dawn of the Dead fans, there is an article on Dawn of the Dead. There's an article on Doctor Who, Galactica, an interview with Christopher Lee, Making of the Creature from the Black Lagoon, a preview of new Fright films, and there's also a photo preview of Alien in here. And as you can see, I'm just going to go through this real fast. This was more of a newsprint type issue. You can see what Fangoria used to look like. That's when it started out. And it's very interesting to go back and look at these older magazines. And a little bit of trivia for those of you that might not remember. In Friday the 13th Part 3, when the Debbie character is laying in the hammock, she's reading a magazine. And she is actually reading the #1 issue of Fangoria. And she is actually looking at an article on Tom Savini, and she turns the page right before she gets killed, or her character gets killed. So that's a little bit of trivia for you. Another place I saw Fangoria magazine show up is in the movie Evil Laugh. There's a character in that film that's really into horror movies and is kind of freaked out about staying at this old house, but he reads Fangorias all the time. So you will see some Fangoria issues in that movie as well. The next issue of Fangoria I have is issue 11. Hope you can see that. Issue 11. And let's see what year this was. I'm not really sure. Oh, February of 1981. February of 1981. This is when Funhouse come out. Tobe Hooper's Funhouse. And as you can see, they used to have Fangoria used to have some cool covers, because you see the actual creature from Funhouse on here. There's also stuff on My Bloody Valentine, and I believe this is the issue that they talk about the deleted scenes, or the cut gore scenes that now everybody gets to see with the special edition My Bloody Valentine DVDs and Blu-rays. Okay. The next issue I have is issue 12. I have both issues 11 and 12. There's stuff on Romero's Knight Riders, Tobe Hooper, there's Hammer on TV, Michael Caine in the Hand, Clash of the Titans, The Gimmicks of William Castle. And the big article in this issue was, of course, Friday the 13th Part 2. It says, whatever you do, don't open the fridge. And that's just awesome cover art for a magazine to have. Can you imagine that being in stores? Okay.